Hi, everyone. This is Miranda with the Valuable Voices podcast. I have Kyla here today, and I'm really excited for you guys to meet her and hear about her. She's a vibrancy coach, which I said I love that name. I feel like we all want to be vibrant and just excited and joyful about life. So I love that. And I can't wait to dive in. I know we met on Facebook on a podcast group, but I just love learning people's stories and why you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, let's just dive in. What kind of got you started, or whatever you want to share, wherever you want to start today.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was realizing that, I guess I got started because this is what I implemented in my life.
Yeah.
And I felt like so called to, like, if I didn't know that this was something to focus on, because really that's what it is, it's a focus. And I wanted to inform other people and make them aware and help them cultivate something that speaks to them.
Awesome. Why do you think, what point in your life, why did you reach out and, hire a coach or a mentor?
That's a great question. I think hiring people that have had the experiences that you want, or, have the impact that you want, are certainly great opportunities to, work with those people, align with those people so you can learn from them, and then, like, kind of take their lessons and run from that point. I think I came around, like, people that inspired me, and really over the course of a couple of years now, like, really learned the lesson of how important, like, connection to yourself, and really cultivating something special to you is so important. So that's kind of where I taught myself, based on learning from these other coaches and other mentors in my life.
Yeah. So who would you say is your ideal client, or who are the types of people that you enjoy working with?
Yeah. So I really am focused on working women, and I know that's a big category, but we all kind of have an opportunity to reevaluate, like, the level of self-care and the level of nurturing we give ourselves. And, like, I would say working women that are interested in creating this, like, vibrancy in their life, like, really lit up, turned on, excited about their life. Like, it doesn't just have to be an event that you're excited for. It can be, like, every day that you just find these little, pieces within ourselves that come to the forefront when you're able to implement a practice. And I think the key for me too was, it's not one thing that one coach is going to tell me. It was a cultivation, a pulling of, like, well, wow, yoga really makes me feel good.
Right.
Walking in nature really makes me feel good. Um, and then also just, like, listening to my own, in listening to me, listening to what's, like, feeling good, or maybe not even feeling good, and getting spacious around that. And that's what I'm passionate about, right? Like, I don't want to tell you you've got to do A, B, C, D, and then you'll be vibrant and happy. It's like, okay, here is, like, the buffet of options, and you pick and choose what feels good, and it might change daily, but then it's an opportunity to have that, like, getting to know yourself, like, in these moments this feels really good, and nurturing. And I think that was also a big light bulb moment for me, of, like, I can be my own nurturer,
Yeah.
like, and my own caretaker, and not rely on other people or outside things to, like, give that to me.
Yeah.
And, maybe some of your listeners already know this, but this was, like, such a powerful time for me to, like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. I want to dive into it and learn about it. And then, now I want to facilitate that for other people, for other working women, because we're here to live, and we want to live, with this, like, fullness, versus feeling, the various feelings are all important, and we, kind of can cycle through them, but, like, we don't have to stay in that place.
Yes. I can
Yeah.
totally relate to everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think we all just kind of go through life with blinders on, right? We're
Mhm.
just focus, 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 do without kind of stopping to think, what does bring me joy? What do I enjoy doing? I got to a point where I was like, there has got to be more to life than this. I felt blessed,
Yes.
working mom, 2 healthy kids, great. But it's like, there has to be more to just waking up every day, doing the same thing, making dinner, worry about this, laundry, blah, blah, blah. But you have to be intentional about it, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the tools to get there. And for me, I always loved having a coach just for accountability. I mean, we have to learn to be accountable to ourselves, but there's something about somebody that says, I believe in you, I see this in you, calls that out in you, and just checks in, because
Yeah.
sometimes, again, we just go, go, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell people where we can find you. I know you're on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to reach out to me over Facebook, that's probably the best place for right now. And yeah, I'm looking for, those women that want to talk about how to build their practice, like where they're at, what feels good, and opportunities to start implementing ways in which they can connect to their mind, body, and their true nature.
I love that. So you're definitely very vibrant, like just by looking at you,
Oh,
you're smiling,
thanks.
you're positive,
Yeah.
and those are the people you want in your life. I
Yeah.
think too, it's taking an inventory of who's in our life, what voices are we listening to? That's kind of why I did this podcast. It's like there's so many voices out there, and it's like make sure you're listening to the voices that are valuable in your life. Again, building you up and not bringing you down. Are you leaving that conversation feeling filled up, feeling excited, feeling empowered? Right.
Mhm.
So I'm curious, why vibrancy? Like, how did you choose that? I mean, again, I can see that in you, but I'm kind of curious why you're calling yourself a vibrancy coach.
Yeah. Well, I think my journey started like I realized I was disconnected. I was like, nothing was really wrong, but nothing was really right either. Like, kind of just this like going through the motions, like your question of like, this it can't be everything that my life is taking. And the word vibrancy just speaks to me of like that is the vision I have for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not always vibrant, but like I know now that if I implement my own practice and my own commitment to myself, that I can be more vibrant and share that with others. And like I also want to say like all the answers are inside, and so it's just so important when you can take the time and choose intentionally to do that and get to know yourself and really care for yourself. And I think that vibrancy just like it encapsulates it, and then also just like it's kind of fun too, right? Like, what's a vibrancy coach? And so yeah, I'm just going with it, and hopefully I'll get some more feedback along the way and get some more vibrancy seekers.
Yeah.
And
I
we'll
love
make
that.
a movement out of it.
Do you feel like most of your life you were kind of looking for that, or like that excitement and living your best life, or again, was there like a trigger or something that said, like me, I'm like, there has to be more to life than this, like think of your before versus
Yeah.
where you're at now. Is there anything
Yeah.
that was like,
Just a realization of like following the steps, following the path. For me, it was, athletics took me to college. And then from college, I continued to graduate school and then got into the corporate world of working and just felt like I couldn't be myself and just kind of always had this like space or there was just something that never always felt right.
Mhm.
And finally it was like a decision of okay, well, I can go talk to these coaches, I can work with people, and I was looking for them to tell me the formula, tell me
Right.
exactly what I needed to do. And through doing that, and every experience was worth it, right? Like I learned tons, but I also came away with wow, the key really is in within.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest message of like internal work is so valuable,
Right.
and part of cultivating that value for ourselves is to have a regular practice and connection with ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess what would you say to somebody that's like, I don't know, I just feel stuck. I don't even know where to start. That overwhelm, that like fear or anxiety, is there
Sure.
one tip or something that you would say to somebody? Um,
Yeah.
like for me, it's like just slow down, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
take an inventory of how you're feeling and just be
Huge.
aware.
Yes.
Again, there's so many things out there distracting us, I feel like. So
Yeah.
again, what would you say to somebody that's like overwhelmed and just not sure where to start? What's one thing
Yeah.
that they could do?
Yeah. No, awareness is probably the first step. Like really just listen to that voice and let that like kind of journal along with
Yeah.
that voice of like, what am I really saying? Like, and just be observant of it without judgment.
Yeah.
So listening, writing it, and yeah, because writing is huge too, right? Like it kind of just helps us
Mhm.
process and see what is really happening inside, and it's a great way to just get that perspective and slow down.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
there been any major mentors or coaches in your life? Some might be public or some might be, some people that people haven't heard about, but any books or podcasts or people that you're kind of following that's like helped you in your journey?
Yeah, I think the classics, the greats, Dr. Wayne Dyer and Louisa Hay, those have really helped me along the path. And like everyone has a gift to share with us. It's like, are we paying attention to see it, hear it, feel it? And I think that speaks to part of slowing down. Like why am I in such a big rush to do the next thing?
Right.
Um, and yeah, I think just building a community of people that support you and trusting that, you're on your path and you're gonna see the messages if you're paying attention.
Yeah. And I think just giving ourselves grace along the way and kind of
Mm,
learning to love where we're at, right? I feel like sometimes we're always striving, like you said,
yeah,
for that next thing or why are we doing what we're doing?
yeah,
Okay, so just to wrap up, you talked about not being yourself, and I feel
yeah,
like again with social media we can all compare ourselves so much. So I think that's another thing. It's just stop comparing yourself, right? Like you said, we all
yeah,
have unique gifts. Um,
yeah,
but again, just being yourself, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else to say around that, but I know that I felt like maybe pretending to be somebody I wasn't
mm,
because I was trying to be like somebody else or just didn't feel comfortable being who I was because I felt judged. Just
yeah.
kind of curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that question pops up for me a lot.
Yeah.
And one of my coaches was like, think about building legs on a stool, like all the reasons why, you can do this and what great things will happen for doing what you're interested in, right? And for me, that it's part of this coaching, it's part of speaking with podcasters, it's part of like growing and expanding into like this new version of myself.
Yeah.
And I just think that, yes, it's very hard to, not compare ourselves on a daily basis, but recognizing that we're comparing ourselves is huge.
Sure.
Like, okay, I'm comparing myself again. All right, told myself I'm not going to do that anymore and just let that go, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's always easier said than done, but just giving ourselves that, like, I'm learning here. I'm, progressing every day. I'm doing it less and less, or every day I'm, enjoying who I am and, enjoying the things I'm doing, the life that I'm creating.
Yeah. And you talked about perfection, I think, or maybe progress over perfection. I
Yeah.
always think about
Yeah.
that, right? Not being
Yeah.
perfect, being willing
Yeah.
to fail. And I think we were
Yeah.
taught so much about not failing. And it's like, no, that's how
Yeah.
you learn. I just feel
Yeah.
like that was ingrained in our brain. Got to
Yeah.
get A pluses. You can't miss anything. I don't know. We could go
Yeah.
on and
No.
on, but
Totally. That fixed versus growth mindset, like it's huge. And when you tap into like what that is and how to apply it, it is it's like we can apply it to our kids, our family, to our work. And there's so many ways to incorporate it for ourselves and then the people that we surround ourselves with.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you so much for being on here. Again, I love what you're doing. I'm all about coaches. And again, I just love your beautiful smile and you're super vibrant. So check her out on Facebook. I'll put the link in the notes. So Kyla Meuer, hopefully I got that right. Thank you so much for being on. And I hope this blesses all of you. Have a great day.